Good morning and welcome to the morning report for Tuesday, June 13th, 2017. My name is Edward Peruta, and the Honorable and Mentionable Rachel Baird is somewhere in the eastern portion of Massachusetts on a legal matter and was not in Connecticut last night and is not in Connecticut this morning. With me I have the infamous litigator in family court, Dan Lynch, who the courts beat up on regularly, and there's a couple of things that I have to say.
I'm not sure I would have chosen that introduction, but sure. So, yeah.
Well, they're beating up on you. And they know they're beating up on you because you've got some valid issues.
Well, it's not just family court, it's court in general.
Well, okay.
As soon as you're outspoken and you respectfully challenge the system and you make any inroads, they're going to make damn well sure that they ignore whatever rules they want, and then
you did something last week in behalf of American news.
This is not coffee, by the way, for those people who know me who think after 55 years that I finally decided to start drinking coffee.
I'll tell you the story about. I'll tell you the story about the second time I tasted coffee, but right now I need to get this over with. Last week, an individual in the state of Connecticut formally announced his candidacy for governor of the state of Connecticut. And I believe he may be the first person to announce.
I think he's the first formal announcement. I think that's
everybody
correct.
Else beats around the bush and talks bullshit about, I'm exploring the opportunity. I may in the future, but I'm not a candidate now. Because I think a lot of election law comes into play the minute you make a formal announcement. So everybody else beats the bushes.
Well, even having an exploratory committee. I mean, so there's no secret. People could look to see.
But that doesn't an exploratory committee. I don't think you don't fall under election laws.
No. Well, you do, but it's more a matter of okay, I have an exploratory committee to consider
the gentleman's name is Tim Herbst. He is the current first selectman of Trumbull, Connecticut.
That's correct.
He was elected to public office at a very early age. Don't get involved in particulars. He announced on the 19th anniversary of his graduation from Trumbull High School. He comes from a known family in Trumbull. He's had a lot of rough and tumble issues as the first selectman. He's kept the finances in line. He's streamlined government. And
I guess you watched the video.
I did watch the video, along with, I believe, how many hits has it had?
About 3,500.
About 3,500 hits. And now that's on your Facebook page.
Correct.
Well, here's what I would like to do. Because he had the courage and the foresight to, and I'll say it this way, walk down the escalator of politics and announce that he was running for an executive position in the state of Connecticut, the governorship. Because he is a Republican, because he comes with a history of streamlining government and holding down finances, I would like to follow this gentleman's political quest for the office at the state capitol that says governor.
Right, and then, I know you guys talked about this on Saturday during the summary judgment show, but the one thing that I don't think anybody had mentioned, he ran 4 years ago, he ran for statewide office for state treasurer as the Republican opposing Denise Napier. And although Denise Napier, retained the job as treasurer, it was by a razor-thin margin. Razor-thin. I mean, I don't remember the exact details now in terms of number, but I think I recall it was a matter of mere hundreds of votes, not thousands or tens of thousands of votes.
I believe that the state of Connecticut is in such dire straits, financially and politically, that a young, fresh face of an individual with some executive level experience in government, i.e., a first selectman,
Right.
that I would like to follow as best I can with resources, personnel, and equipment, Tim Herbst's quest to be governor. I don't give three shits about Daniel Malloy, whether he runs or doesn't run. I don't care about any Democrat who percolates up out of the political mud to say it's mine for the taking because I've got my time in the state trenches, political trenches. I would like to follow this guy, Tim Herbst. So, that said, now I'll just tell you the two stories. I never knew about, what do they call it? Cold coffee? What do they call cold coffee when you drink cold coffee?
Iced coffee?
Iced coffee.
Yeah.
I never knew about iced coffee. And I was a guzzler as a kid. You know, I would go into the refrigerator, and when you used to have to shake the cream off the top of the bottle, and it had a little cardboard cup in the glass bottle. And I used to not look around and then chug a lug right out of the bottle and put it back in. I didn't dirty a glass. I was one of those kids. And Tupperware was a big thing when it came out. I mean, everybody, wow, this is great, Tupperware. And they had this Tupperware thing that my mother used to make orange juice in when you used to buy the frozen pulp and concentrate, put it in and mix it with water, and that was your orange. You didn't buy it in bottles pre-made. And I opened the refrigerator and I saw the orange juice Tupperware thing, and it had brown liquid in it, and I said, wow, she made chocolate milk. And so I popped the top and I chugged it down, and I go, it's coffee. Coffee was not a thing for me. That was the first time I ever tasted coffee, and I didn't like coffee and said I would never have coffee again. In the spring of 1968, I was in Vietnam. We were to climb up a mountain, go around the top of the mountain looking for the enemy, and they said, we're going to be up here for about a day, day and a half, so pack 2 meals. So everybody packed 2 meals. Well, the cover, the plant, the vegetation up there was like steel wool vegetation, trying to get through it. We spent a week up there. We had no food. And somebody said, we've got nothing to eat. And I said, well, they better hope we don't catch somebody, because I'm going to eat his bicep. You know, and my guys afterwards said, were you serious? I said, I was dead serious when I said it. I said, I would have eaten somebody's bicep that time. But somebody came up to me and gave me a packet of instant coffee crystals that came in sea rations. You put the crystals in your canteen cup or the cup, put some water in it, heated it up, and you could make coffee. Nescafe or whatever the hell it was.
Sanka or...
Yeah, one of those, crystals. And I can remember being so hungry that I took that coffee and sprinkled it in the palm of my hand and was eating it like this. I was eating anything. There were no pineapples up there. There were no bananas. There was no sugar cane, because I used to eat off the land a lot. You know, if it was edible and whatever, I'd just eat that. But that was the second time I had coffee, and I never had it again until I became a policeman and started drinking coffee on midnights to stay awake. And now I'm addicted.
Every morning.
Every freaking morning.
You know.
So that's just to get my coffee. You know, somebody mentions I don't drink coffee 55 years. I think about, there was a time I didn't drink it too. All right. Now, every morning at the front of the building, somebody drops off a Republican American newspaper.
I used to be a paperboy for them.
And
many years
I used to be a paperboy for the Hartford Courant. And in the wintertime, you could stick your hands into the bundle, and the printing press warmth, the warmth of the building was still there. You could warm your hands by sticking them between the Hartford Courant. And as you fold it,
Make sure to get back to this story.
as you fold it, you read as you fold. You know, so I used to be reading the paper all the time. Well, the Hartford Courant isn't what it used to be. But again, this is dropped off in front, and I used to do a show on cable, and I'd say I read it in bold print. The reporter writes the story, then he passes it on to an editor who chops out of the story and makes it fit what they call the budget. In other words, you've got 10 column inches to fill. Your story is 15 column inches long. So the editor goes through and redoes it and shortens it down so it fits. Then he passes it off to somebody who reads the story and comes up with the bold print headline. So it's like a 3-step process. So let's just do something. Rachel and I do not do this. And again, Rachel, I hope you're watching out there in Boston.
Now, I don't have my glasses on at the moment.
No, you don't have to read it. No, you can read this.
No, but I'm going to tell you one thing, which I think is interesting. But even without my glasses, I could see that the headline.
Okay, so read that right there.
DMV to mail out licenses.
Procedural change will be phased in over the next month. And then I'm going to go down and just say, motorists who have a license expiring this year may not want to wait until the last minute to renew it. Starting today, the State Department of Motor Vehicles is going to mail out licenses rather than make drivers wait for them in one of the state's DMV branches or AA office that provide licenses. It is expected to take up to 20 days to receive that license. Good move. Why the fuck didn't they do it 10 years ago? Okay. Summer in the city.
Now, by the way, just as a side point to connect the two different stories we've talked about so far, when Tim Herbst gave his announcement, you know, the mayor of Cromwell, Enzo Fianza, got up and gave a brief introduction. He actually introduced Tim's childhood friend, closest friend for I forget now 30 years. Matt Manzioni was his name, and then Tim got up. So there was certainly a lot of information conveyed from Mayor Cromwell, Tim's friend, and then Tim got up and was among one of the first things that he talked about as a priority was to completely obliterate and disband, and start from scratch with the whole DMV. And of course, who in the state of Connecticut would not find some validity in that statement?
Okay, what I'm trying to do is seeing if we're going out to American News on YouTube, but I can't figure that shit out. All right.
Somebody will call.
Summer in the city. Shows a girl standing in some kind of a facility that has water squirting out of the ground.
Well, it was a 100-degree day yesterday.
Chase Park, Waterbury, temperature. Okay, now, this is the type of day, or these are the type of days that people open up fire hydrants. The kids figure out how to open them. And in a lot of cities, they actually put a device on it which controls the amount of water that goes out, and it's a spray. Great idea. Blumenthal, subpoena needed for Sessions. Answers sought on the Russian issues. Richard Blumenthal is a camera hog. Richard Blumenthal realized years ago that in the news media, Monday is a slow news day. And that if you always plan your announcements and send a press release out saying Senator Blumenthal will be at the state capitol in the Veterans Memorial area talking about VA benefits Monday morning, 10 o'clock. The news crews from the mainstream media come into the newsroom on Monday morning, and they have an assignment board. And they pick and choose where the crews are going. Well, Senator Blumenthal just helped us out. That's a story. we'll cover Blumenthal on Monday at 10 o'clock in front of the Capitol. This was in 2014, I believe, or 15. I showed up with my Board of Veterans Appeals decision in my hand to say to him, all of the bullshit that's going on in Washington, and the answer is right here in this document. It's called fee basis. Let veterans go to private doctors and pay them the rate that fee basis pays the doctors, the hospitals, the optometrists, everybody, and you don't have a problem anymore. That motherfucker would not even acknowledge that I had a solution to the issue. But later on down the road, well, he doesn't like me anyhow, because I call him out every time when I went to that panel on Newtown and he was televised in from Washington. I said to him, I said, what are you going to do about mental health? I said, you people don't have the intestinal fortitude. You don't have the guts to deal with mental health.
Well, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of lip service,
Well, yeah, it was. We're going to control guns because of, and I don't use his name, the Newtown shooter.
Yep.
He had two issues: access to firearms and mental health issues. We're going to deal with the access to firearms. They have not dealt with the mental health issues. Now, but let's continue. That's Blumenthal, the asshole.
Well, now it just as you know, I think from conversations we've had, sometimes different thoughts will trigger a memory with me. And of course, you've heard about the most dangerous place to be in the state of Connecticut. Anywhere in the state of Connecticut, what's the most dangerous place to be? It's between Richard Blumenthal and the lens of a camera.
Oh yeah. All right. Now I need to apologize to Nicky Stoddard out in California, who's a member of the Pink Pistols. He was going to call in yesterday and participate in the program with Rachel and I.
He did call in.
He did call in, and for some reason he could not find us on Facebook. Now, and I'm going to see if I can get this right. Gary Nance,
Yes.
if you're out there, please call in and tell us whether you're watching on Facebook or not. If you're watching on Facebook, please call 860-249-1776. You don't have to have a topic. You don't have to have shit. Just say, I see you on Facebook. That's all. And maybe there's nobody out there. The next one is bells toll in Orlando a year later. Nikki is, and I'm going to try and get this right. What happened? What's the name when you have surgery to go from a male to a female? Is that transgender? I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
Nikki identified as a female and is now a female. So he has a bigger right to discuss what happened in Orlando than I would. He has more insight into the gay community, the transsexual, bisexual, whatever the hell it is, community than I do. And he had a lot to say. And we had talked before yesterday morning, and I...
Now, wasn't he on the show many months ago?
No, Nikki's been on the show.
Yeah, I thought
Nikki's
so.
been on the show. I've met him at NRA conventions. We've talked. We talk regularly.
Yeah.
I got a call from Dave Warden, who's now Houston, yesterday, too. And he may be on the show this coming Monday morning with Rachel and I. And he did a lot of explaining about this criticism that he's receiving because of his background.
And so for today's episode, anybody who didn't see yesterday's, of course, they have no idea what you're talking about. But this is there's serial discussions that go on this show. So the more you watch, the more you pick up.
If you're
on.
watching this on Facebook, I guess you just scroll down to yesterday's show, and you'll hear the conversation.
Hang on. Let's see who we got. Wireless call. I don't
know. Is this my co-host?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Are you watching on Facebook?
I am, and it looks great. The sound is great. The visual is great. Everything looks good.
So we are on Facebook.
You are on Facebook.
There we
Oh,
go.
wait. I was watching on Summary Judgment.
Well, that's also good
You
to
want me to
know.
hang up?
Well, then
No,
you
that's-
tell
that was
no. Well, I guess you have to if you're on your cell phone. Well, you can do it. Right. Call back after you find
No,
us on Facebook.
Have her keep going. I can just look on Facebook real quick. Right
Well, the
here.
other one
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for is out on YouTube.
We're live on Facebook. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're live on Facebook. with
Okay, see if you can find
Crystal
American
clear.
News.
No, I'm not going to do that while we're on air.
Okay.
Facebook
Well,
is easy.
I was Rachel. Thank you. And so let me tell you, the economy's booming up in the Boston area.
Oh, yeah. It's impossible to find a hotel room up here. There's construction. The cranes are in the air. Traffic. For the first time in my life, I saw a sign that said between 6 and 10 a.m. you're allowed to drive in the breakdown lane on Route 3 going north into Boston. I've never seen that in my life.
I've never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
so
going to take a picture, but I'm excited.
Where'd you stay? Down by the oil tank somewhere?
she stayed down by Plymouth.
You stayed in
I
Plymouth?
tried to. I could not find a hotel room. The ones that were available were $500, and they weren't even open. So I had to drive all the way out to a place called Rockland, Massachusetts, that's near Plymouth, and I stayed there.
Wow.
Well,
But I got up early. Because I wanted to get to the courthouse well in advance to get a parking place. So I've got a parking place. I'm camped out here, and I'm ready.
and you're watching us on your cell phone in a car in Boston.
I am.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, and I can assure you that the two girls at your house are doing fine, and we won't tell you what happened this morning.
Okay, you guys have a good day, okay, Dan? Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. Well, we've heard from Attorney Baird in eastern Massachusetts in the Boston area.
Summary
she-
judgment feed is fine on YouTube.
Yeah, she told me that she got up there and she does Priceline, I guess, and she looked for a room. It wasn't any rooms less than $500 a night. She goes, economy must be booming because even at $500 a night, they had no rooms available.
Well, keep in mind a couple things. I can't remember the number of colleges and universities in and around Boston, but this is the end of the school year. So you have a lot of people coming in from all over the place to watch their families
And to pick up their kids.
graduate and get the kids ready. And so there's a very, the influx of students and the outflux at a certain time of year. I mean, I lived up there for 9 years. It's a great city. So anyway,
I think you lived all over the place.
no, just New England. That's it. So now what are you scrolling around?
I'm still looking for that damn. I'm still. Doesn't matter. All right, back to headline. So there was the bell tolls a year later. Sweet sizzling beans, fancy names may boost healthy dining. What the fuck is that? Okay. Attorney generals file anti-corruption suit against Trump. Malloy urged to retain North Carolina trip ban. Megyn Kelly vital to shine a light on Alex Jones. Secret Service, not us. Travel ban argued. Ruling on citizenship. Putin graft protested. More attacks urged. Capability degraded. MS-13 deportations. Did you hear that? Our immigration department is rounding up gang members from M13 that are illegal in the country and shipping their ass back south of the border to wherever they came from. And the fucking countries down there are pissed off that they're coming back. They don't want them. Well, if you don't
hang
want
on a second. Maybe they're going to build a wall.
yeah.
So
Hold on a minute. Oh, let me find.
that's how they're going to get them to pay for the wall. We're sending people back. Now, I got to touch on something else. Yesterday was Monday. What did not happen yesterday? Yes.
Oh no!
Yet
Yeah,
again.
my case at the Supreme Court was again not on the report. It was not reported out of the conference.
I guess it was continued.
The cake case, my case.
Oh,
Was not reported
the
out.
cake case as well.
Cake case is still sitting there.
Masterpiece
And you know
cake.
something?
Piece cake,
Masterpiece, yeah. Masterpiece Theater.
No,
Masterpiece
right.
Cake. No, what I'm trying to say is this.
How many weeks has it been for your case now?
I have no idea, and I don't care. Rachel and I had to go up to the extreme northwest corner of Connecticut to a client's residence for a lot of different reasons, but it related to legal in the office. And we were in blackout, cell phone blackout, for quite a while.
Yeah.
And Rachel goes, "Oh my God, we can't find out what happened with your case." And she kept looking for a signal. And when we finally got it, she says, "Well, no activity on your case." And I said, "What's the big deal?
Right.
What's a couple of extra days?"
No, I know, but I think it's. I don't want to say, use the term funny.
All right.
I think it's ironic that about 2 months ago, when the first occurrence, we all had our watches and clocks set, and then the following week and the following week, and yet yesterday came and went. We didn't discuss it. We were in touch for other
Well,
things.
it is-
It wasn't
it is-
until 8 o'clock last night. I was out for a run, and
It
I'm
is-
halfway through, and I says, "Well,
it
how
is-
do you not know what's going on with SCOTUS?"
It is flattering to realize that along with the cake case is the Peruta case. And the people that are watching the Supreme Court and watching the makeup of the Supreme Court and how they react now that there's a replacement, it's kind of flattering to realize that I'm in that group of not reported out cases because of the significance of the issue.
Well, I think people will look at it, more closely.
Right.
I think there's more people who will. I mean, you see the number of people who are involved in the chit chat as it gets
Okay.
blogged about.
You're going to have to get up and go into master control because I need to explain this. I edited the openings and closings to the morning report, and I edited the opening and closing to the summary judgment program to acknowledge the support that attorney Rachel Baird provides to the media center, to the programs that come out of the media center, and on cable TV, because these will now be seen on cable. It is not an advertisement. You can acknowledge at the beginning of a program and at the end of the program the people who make the program possible. And there are more people than attorney Baird that make it possible. There are more businesses involved that make it possible. But the predominant person who makes these programs possible is attorney Rachel M. Baird of Harwinton, Connecticut, and I felt it was time that she got the credit she deserves for making these shows what they are. Now, next Monday, David Warden, News Now Houston, 28,000 followers. He gets a lot of hits, and he's taking these morning reports and posting them on his News Now Houston YouTube site. And I don't know who this Yahoo is who's attacking him, but I believe that there is a conspiracy to try and shut him up and stop what he's doing, and he's educating the public and the police to the right to film public events from public property regardless of what's happening. Why don't you go down and shut us down?
I will do that. I got 5 seconds on the way out. I had a thought while you were talking about Masterpiece Cake.
Go ahead, I will
And-
shorten
and-
it up
and the
tomorrow.
Peruta. And the thought is, if both cases get accepted for cert, I'm going to reach out to the people at Masterpiece Cake and have them make a cake
A gun cake?
of a permit with your name on it.
Jesus.
So-
All right, listen, again, June 13th, 2017, that was Dan Lynch, who most of the time is sitting in master control but has a lot to say, and you should really talk to him. You should be able to talk to him off the air during the day because he is an extremely intelligent, passionate, executive level thinker, and I'm very proud to have him involved with American News. So, with that, see you tomorrow, and hopefully Rachel's back.